Before I begin, I'd like to extend a formal apology about the state of my hair. I'm in the process of growing it out, and so it's in that weird purgatory state of like, I can get away with putting it out, but like, I also look like a damn mess. Hi, my name is Gemma, and I talk about the same 3 books in every single video. So, in an attempt to kind of broaden my niche, I wanted to talk about romance. And look, it's not a genre that I like, but I feel like when done correctly as a subplot, it really adds to the story. And I've been reading a lot of books lately where the romance should have been a subplot, but it ends up overriding the main niche of the story. So here is my top 5 books that have an incredible romantic subplot. The first is Unwind by Neil Shusterman. Now, I've talked about this a few times because I love the overarching premise of this book. It takes place in a world where you can retroactively abort a child by separating their body and their organs and distributing them, and their consciousness still lives, but their actual state of being does not. I love this book. I love it with everything I've got. And my favourite thing about it is that the political system remains intact. One of my biggest pet peeves is when the author develops a story and a political system and a world and an atmosphere for the first third of a story and then forgets about it when the love interest is introduced. This book does a phenomenal job of just abolishing that idea. Risa and, not Levi, Risa and Connor, I always do that. I call Connor Levi. Anyway, Risa and Connor have a romance in this book that progresses throughout the series, but the main premise is and always is the political system and life post-war and the war they're fighting now to have the right to their own body. And I think that is so incredibly important, and Neil Shusterman does such a good job of working romance into the plot without overriding the plot. Another book that I've talked about before and that everyone who has ever watched any one of my videos is probably sick of me talking about, it's The Martian by Andy Weir. I won't talk too long about this. The main character doesn't have a romance, but my favourite character, Beck, and the girl whose name I've completely forgotten, yikes, they have a little romance and it's very cute. It's very heartwarming in the midst of so much action and so much high stakes pressure. This small little budding romance is really precious, and I think Andy Weir does a good job of that too. Ooh, the cover landed folded. Yikes. The third book is one of my favourite books ever, and I don't think I've ever talked about it, which is bizarre. Which is literally bizarre, because I adore this book and I think everyone should read it just to feel good. Just to feel good about themselves, about the world, about to bring some happiness back into your life. It's The Little Paris Bookshop by Nina George. I love this book. It is about a man who owns a bookshop on a moat in Paris, obviously, and one day, he's sick of his routine life and he unsheaths the bookshop from the moat and sails the fuck off. I think this is the coolest idea ever, and it takes place, this man, the one that it's about, what's his name, Jean Perdu, it takes place after the woman that he loves left him. And I say left him because there's a bigger overarching issue. I just remembered I have coffee. Oh my god. Hello. Some good coffee. Takes place after he has been brooding for literal years about this woman leaving him. And he sets off on this moat with a boy called Max, and it's very beautiful. Towards the end, he falls in love again. But it's not about that, and that is what I love. He learns to fall in love with himself first and then allows himself to love other people. And it's such a beautiful novel. I've read it a few times. It's one of the only paperbacks that I haven't cracked the spine of that I read like this. Because I don't really care about the spines of my books, but this one I care about. And I kind of want it in hardback. I spent $30 on this paperback because A, I was in a money spending mood, and B, I loved the premise. As soon as I picked it up, I was like, yes, yes, yes. Another book I've talked about, I'm so sorry, I just have zero original content. The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein. This is a book told through a dog's perspective. It was really, really popular a few years ago. So it's overarchingly about the dog's relationship with his owner, but you also get to see the relationship the owner has with his daughter and his wife, and you know, it's very, very beautiful. It is so, so touching. This is one of the only books that has ever made me physically cry. It is so captivating. I don't have a single issue with this book. I actually really need to reread it soon. But it's like Marley and Me, but if Marley was a narrator, and it's, you know, set with like a few interesting subplots. It touches on kind of family issues and like, oh god, it's so beautiful. I'm gonna stop talking about it because I want to cry. And the last one is one that I'm actually not sure if I've talked about before, but I probably have, knowing me. It's How to Love by Katie Cochuno. I really don't know how to pronounce it. But this is such an incredible book, and one that I feel like nobody has ever talked about on BookTube before. It's a really good book. If you have the chance to pick this up, like do. It's like bright pink, it's gorgeous. So basically this is about a girl called, wow, I'm so fucking predictable, Rena. It's about a girl called Rena, and she was a teenager. She got pregnant, and the boy that she got pregnant with, the baby daddy, he left her, and he pissed the fuck off to who knows where. And you know, her family is heavily religious, and so the main narrative of the book is her learning how to be a mother to her young daughter, but also how to repair the damages that have happened to her family life. And towards the end, the baby daddy moves back home, and you know, she begins to allow herself to entertain the prospect of falling in love with him again, and he's like, I'm in love with you. And it's a very touching novel, and I think it does a really good job of exploring the kind of hurt that comes with someone that you love very dearly leaving you. It does an excellent, very honest portrayal of that, and she's the main character, Rena. She is so realistic, it hurts. She is written so honestly, and the story is just beautiful. So if you can get your little mitts on this, please do. It's phenomenal. So that wraps up my top 5 romantic subplots. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, bye guys.